It's Friday, August 9th, 2024, and we've got weather to talk about. There's what's left of Debbie, a bit of a calm ahead there, exiting the United States. And then here is our mostly quiet, for now, main development region over here in the Atlantic Ocean. Seems pretty calm. I don't think that's going to last very long. We're going to talk about that right here in a minute. But first, here's an up-close and personal look at not-so-little Debbie, okay? All right, Debbie's getting big, expanding out here as it moves up into, farther into the northern hemisphere. It's going to eventually be up there near Greenland. Not really causing much of a problem here, but as she exits, she is going to bring about some convective activity here in the mid-Atlantic areas up into New York today, and this will lead to some thunderstorms and maybe a couple of tornadoes. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. We've got a slight risk of severe thunderstorms affecting the mid-Atlantic states and extending into eastern New York today. We do have the chance for some severe wind gusts with some of these storms, but I think the big driving factor behind today's severe weather risk is going to be the tornado threat, and that's going to be anticipated mainly in the mid-Atlantic region and Pennsylvania this morning, and then it's going to extend up into New York later this afternoon. And this risk is associated with the presence of a lot of wind shear that is there because of Debbie, so I would not be surprised at all to see a couple of tornadoes today. And then starting tomorrow, things really start to calm down a lot in terms of severe weather. We don't have a slight risk. We barely have a wind or hail risk out there. Tomorrow, most of us are going to be having fun in the sun or, slightly cooler air and also kind of cloudy, but you know what I mean. It's not going to be that bad. Here's what the radar could look like as we go through the rest of the day today. There's Debbie bringing about heavy rain in upstate New York up into Canada. This is going to cause some flash flooding problems, obviously. I think that the tornado threat in New Jersey and eastern New York, maybe as far north as in the extreme southern and western portions of Connecticut and Massachusetts around 3 to 4 p.m. There's a limited time frame to where these storms are going to be able to do anything, I think, and that'll be over by at least 6 or 7 p.m. And then we've just got some gusty winds, I think, and some rumbles of thunder moving across Long Island over towards Rhode Island and Cape Cod and those places. And then I really do think that by 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, little Debbie will be completely out of our hair. We do have some stronger storms trying to form back here, though, in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. These will cause some hail, some wind, and some lightning and some thunder, but other than that, they're just good old classic Texas summertime thunderstorms. You know what I'm saying? It's after Debbie gets out of here that our eyes are actually going to go right back into the Atlantic Ocean because, like I said, it's quiet right now, but we are watching very closely this little tangerine down here, this little orange blob. This is expected to become our next storm somewhere over here towards the Leeward Islands, eventually up into the Caribbean. We don't know if it's going to ride the northern side of those islands or go right over towards Puerto Rico and Haiti, but this is a pretty unfortunate track for people in the U.S. because this has the capability of potentially going into the Gulf of Mexico in the future. It has the potential to go towards Florida, somewhere on the East Coast, so we have to watch this one very closely. I think this one's going to be Ernesto if it actually forms. Here's what the GFS has to say about it. Watch this little wave right here. That's little baby Ernesto. As we go towards early next week, Monday, August 12th, around 8 p.m., this looks like it's trying to organize. At this point, it might be a depression. According to the GFS, this is just one model, obviously, and it'll be approaching the islands here. What happens next is pretty interesting. It starts to strengthen as it goes across Puerto Rico and really starts getting its act together once it gets up there towards the Bahamas. So it's going to slide just north of the Bahamas, according to this model, and continue to strengthen as it makes a beeline right back up there towards the Carolinas. At this point, this looks like a pretty strong storm, maybe a low-end hurricane category 1 or 2 out there in the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. And then there is a little bit of a trough that comes by and attracts it up north and swings it away from making a direct hit, I think, from the United States. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is just because it's pretty consistent. It's showed up on the GFS model here the past couple of days. I don't think that this is the path that it's going to take. I just want to show you that there does look like there's going to be a storm and it's going to intensify somewhere around the Caribbean Sea, and what happens from there is still up in the air, but this is one of the potential paths that it could take. Coming back over here to the mainland U.S. as we await the arrival of this next tropical cyclone, we are going to be in this pattern where we talked about the other day. We're going to have a little bit of a ridge over here, allowing for warm air to really kind of stagnate in the Four Corners region down towards Texas. Things are going to be a little bit cooler in the East Coast thanks to Debbie and thanks to the troughing that's happening over here. And then in between between, we're actually going to see an increased period of thunderstorms and rain in, places like Oklahoma, Missouri, southern Illinois, maybe down into the mid-Mississippi River Valley. Some places that honestly need some rain are going to get in on it, as we have lots of little disturbances that are going to ride this little bump here as we go into next week. And then watch the right side of your screen there. There's our sneaky little Ernesto coming up over the Bahamas, missing the Bahamas according to this model once again, and then getting up there towards the outer banks of the Carolinas just in time for this huge trough to kind of swing it out of here. And the odds of this actually happening is astronomically low. I want to let you guys know that there's going to be a storm, there's going to be a hurricane somewhere. The odds of it taking this exact path are low. I'm just showing you this as one of the potential options, and then it goes out to sea. Okay, so it could go farther out to sea, could be a fish storm, it could go into the Gulf of Mexico for all we know, but we do know there is going to be a storm. Total rainfall over the next 7 days looks pretty impressive, okay, for places like upstate New York and southern Ontario and Quebec. That's a result of what's left of Hurricane Debbie. So all of that rain is going to fall in the next couple of days. So that's why we're concerned about flooding up there. Additionally, like I said, we're going to have several systems ride that little bump in our 500 millibar ridge there, and that's going to lead to lots of rain around the St. Louis area down towards Oklahoma, Arkansas, Illinois. Get ready for it. It could cause some problems with flash flooding, but mostly this is going to be welcomed, I think. And then, of course, we do have the risk for some more rain associated with that other system that's going to be coming in the eastern Carolinas vicinity. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that, but it's a possibility. Additionally, Climate Prediction Center temperatures are pretty much on board with everything that we've been seeing. We're going to continue to be above average in the central U.S., downright hot down here in Texas, a little bit cooler than average thanks to Debbie and our trough in the east. Same thing over here in the west, as we're going to have a little bit of an omega block going on here as we go through the 6 to 10 day time frame. The team here at the Weather House is on standby mode thanks to the sheer population of people in a 5% tornado risk today. We'll probably be here at the Weather House till around 6 p.m. waiting to see if anything crazy happens, and if it does, we will go live on this channel, so make sure that you have notifications turned on so you don't miss that. I think that it's going to be a mostly tame day. I think we saw some tornadoes yesterday. If we see a repeat of that, we'll probably flip on the live stream for you on this channel so we can cover that for you. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Ooh.